from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles, and we buy and sell stuff for our 2 antique booths and 2 antique malls that we're in, Maumee Antique Mall in Maumee, Ohio, and Plaza Antiques in Lincoln Park, Michigan. And on this beautiful Michigan day, we are headed to the Monroe County Fairgrounds for their garage sale event. So come along with us and let's see what we can find. So we're going to go to the 4-H Activity Center first. Usually we go to the main building, but this time we're going to start here first because I have a friend that's selling a bunch of stuff and I want to take a look at it. So we're at the 4-H building right now, and the reason I wanted to start here, like I said, I had a friend in here I wanted to check out, and you know, I never find anything at the 4-H booth, and I can see why. Everybody rushed that booth first because it's all done by donation, and anything good seems to fly right off the shelves pretty quickly. So they had a variety of things. They had lots of little dogs, and this poodle was pretty nice. I picked up on this. I almost thought it looked like it could have been left in, but I'm not sure on that one. But regardless, that was a good deal. Dogs and cats always sell, so I grabbed that. That was a bit of an older piece. And here's some more ducks and bunnies, and any kind of animal figurines are really good to buy. Somebody's always got something that looks like those animals, and they like them. These glasses, this was a really nice picture. It had a ruffled top on it, but it had a little nip on it. You can see it right there. What a bummer, because that was a really beautiful piece. So I had to pass on that one. And we're coming around looking at the dishes and whatnot. Didn't see too much there. I always, of course, check in the linens. You never know what you're going to find in the linens. There were some crocheted Afghans. And in the purses, I always dig through those because sometimes people donate. This booth is all done by donation, and sometimes they donate older purses and they're way on the bottom of the box because nobody really knows that they're older or cares. And so I had to dig through all of that to kind of see what I could find, if there was anything name brand or anything older, because vintage purses really always sell well for me. So I'm always looking for vintage purses. So there was quite a lot of boxes to dig through. And as you can see, I didn't find anything too much there. There was also lots of bags and canvas bags and other things like that there. And here's kind of a mix mash of things that they had. You never know with these donation booths where people donate what you're going to find. That was a nice little old doll. I did pick up on that. That was a good deal. There was a little Native American doll. I didn't pick up on her. I like them to have all their clothes on. It's very hard to replace the clothes on those little dolls if you don't find them with all the stuff on them. So I did pick up that one because she had all her clothes. So, and there's a nice baby toy. Picked up that for a friend too. So they have lots of books. I kind of looked through some of the books there to see if there was anything there. Nothing there. And there was boxes all over the floor, so you had to really check everything. They had boxes of bags and purses and everything you could imagine. It's just kind of all thrown in there. So this is a booth you really have to spend some time in to find anything. So like I said, it's all done by donation, so we never know what's in there. So I had to really dig. And if the camera's a little bit wobbly, it's because this was a serious buying day for me. So I apologize for that. But when I'm doing serious buying, the camera is not the main factor. It's more what I'm buying and what I'm looking for. So hopefully nobody gets motion sickness or anything from that. They did have a table full of jewelry, and I did buy a few small pieces. And they had it all spaced out nicely. So I had to look through all of that, of course. And here's some more jewelry from another dealer. And they had a whole table full, so there were some cute pieces there. And the prices are really reasonable at this garage sale, so this is really a good one to go to. And they had lots of cups and precious moments and salt and pepper shakers, and you never know what you're going to find at this sale because, like I said, it's a garage sale. There could be old stuff, new stuff, you never know. And here's a dealer that had a lot of repurposed items. Now we're heading on over to the Expo Center. This is the bigger of the two buildings, and we'll see what we have here. So usually I do this building first, so I had a different strategy this time. I don't know if it paid off for me or not, but by the time I got to this building, it was so packed you could hardly walk. You could hardly even see the items. So I'm not sure which way was the best way to go here, but it was something new I tried. I need to have 2 of me, and then we'll be doing a lot better. But there was lots of jewelry in this building, and lots of metals, and lots of smalls. And there was more antique type dealers in this building, along with your people that just have garage sales. And there was lots more jewelry and purses, of course. You have to dig through those purses, see if there's anything cool in there. And oh, this bird is nice. Yeah, no chips, $1, my kind of price, that's mine. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, there was some nice outdoor items and dishes. And now there was a lot of things I would have bought, but I have to be able to triple and make a profit on my items. Now, if I'm buying something for myself, it's a different story. So if you see me passing a lot of good things and you're like, why didn't you look at that? Or why didn't you look at that? That's the reason. I was buying for the antique booth and not necessarily for myself. These rings were quite nice. There was a lady that had tons of jewelry there. She had probably 8 tables full of jewelry. Boy, did she have the stuff, let me tell you. I thought I had a lot. Man, oh man. So I was looking through those rings there because I always need rings. The rings are probably the biggest seller for me in the jewelry category. So I'm checking the shanks on the bottom of those rings all the time to make sure they're not worn out, or the gold hasn't worn off if it's a gold ring, because they don't sell if the bottom of them are looking more worn. So that's what I'm always picking them up and looking at the bottom. That's why. So those were pretty nice. Good costume rings always sell. So a good thing to buy if you're looking to buy and sell. But you got to get them reasonable. They can only be a few dollars, because typically I get about $10 a piece for those. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, but around $10. So I can't spend any more than about $3 per ring when I'm buying those kind of rings, unless it's something really spectacular. But I have a little handful there going on. Well, let's see what else is here. Lots more jewelry, and there's some silverware. And like I said, you just never know. It's a garage sale, so you never know what you're going to find here. There's some statues back there. And here's a big box of goodies. You never know with those bag lots. You always got to go through those too, because you never know what's in those. And they had a ton of bag lots. And I believe this was the dealer I've bought quite a lot from in the past. They always have really good stuff, if I'm not mistaken. $2. That's not bad. There's some jewelry in there and some bracelets. Let's see what else we gotta find. Oh, and these were all necklace sets. They were nicely presented, a good way to see them. And of course, when I look back now, I'm like, why did I pass on that one set? That one set looked really good with the blue in it. Why did I not get that? But that's what happens when you watch these videos later. You're thinking, what was I thinking? And here's a nice piece here of some glasses and some depression glass and caprice. And some patterns and books. Lots of old frames. Usually with frames, they got to be real fancy or they don't sell for me. Unless I have a particular picture that I plan on putting them in there. And here's a nice piece of candlewick. I believe it was only $3. That's a no-brainer. I bought that. And what else do we have? Oh, that was a nice vase. Price wasn't right for me, though. It looks like some Corelle there. And this was a nice old box. I had to check it out for chips. That's why I had to put the camera that way for a second. And it had a little nip on it, I do believe. Yes, they did. So I had to pass on that one. What a bummer. That would have been a nice old box. So there's lots of plates. And a little horse figurines. And linens. And a huge variety of items. Oh, here's a nice piece of depression glass. And here's the plates. That was a nice piece. And there's another piece right there. That pink piece is depression glass also. And that one there too. That pink one is Miss America. It's depression glass. And they had quite a few pieces of that. That was quite nice. And this was also a depression glass piece. It almost looks like poinsettia. That one's different on the bottom. The sherbet was a different pattern than the one on the bottom. And this is Mayfair Open Rose. It's a nice piece there. And this was all the same dealer. They had a lot of depression glass in their booth. And that looks to be King's Crown. That's a nice goblet. And in good shape too. And there's a set of 4. There must have been a little chip on that. Otherwise, I think I would have bought that. And look at all these cake plates. And a nice pink pitcher. This booth had a lot of good stuff in it. The prices were super reasonable too. So I always have to really take my time going through this booth. And that piece there of glassware is very old. It's a pressed glass piece. And I can't tell you the pattern, not offhand, but that is a nice old piece of glassware. And this one also is a nice older piece of glassware. If I had to guess, early 1900s, late 1800s, I've seen stuff like that in Henry Ford Museum in Detroit. So that my mom actually has a piece of that. It was her great-grandmother's piece. So I know that that pressed glass and those particular patterns are very old. Oh man, check this out. Candle wick smoking set. Oh yeah, that was mine. $5. Can you believe that? That was definitely a no-brainer. I couldn't believe it when they told me it. They didn't have prices on it or anything. So sometimes it's hard when people don't have prices. They either can be really high or they can be really low. So what I usually do when I go to those types of dealers is I ask on 2 or 3 items to kind of get the gist of where their pricing is. Because otherwise, you don't know. A lot of times you just want to walk away because there's no prices. You think everything's high, but that's not always the case. So it's better to ask the dealer and see kind of where they're thinking on their prices on their items. So I'm looking at toys because I'm dabbling in toys these days. And I'm still learning. I got a long way to go. So there was some bag lots. Always like to look in those. And I'm kind of looking for action figures and maybe some Matchbox cars. Anything Disney related. That was a Thomas the Train looked like in there. Boy, I should have bought that. I actually have a customer who was just asking for that. That was a mistake. And look at all the cups and saucers. And here's some dolls. And lots of dishes. And purses. Here's another little box. Holly Hobby. And there's a Budweiser cup. And look at the jewelry. Hello. Lots of beads to dig into, see if there's anything good. And here's a bunch of rings. This was definitely an interesting box. Gotta check some of those out. That one's kind of pretty. Lots of variety in there. And I ended up passing. Okay, here was a good table. Dollar jewelry, 6 for $5. That's right up my alley. So I was digging in through this table for a little while. They had a lot of good stuff. So of course I had to look at it all, because that's price is really wonderful when you can find nice things for $1. Actually, it'd be less than $1, because you know I'm going to buy 6 if it's 6 for $5. So I dug around in there for a while and found some interesting things. And I typically don't buy plastic pearls or plastic beads unless they're like from the 50s with the multiple strands. So I don't usually go for that. I usually go for anything rhinestone, especially colored rhinestone, anything with a natural gem in it. I look for old Trifari or Sarah Coventry. And those are just some of the items I look at. I'm always looking for amber, because amber is one of those things that looks like they're just plastic beads. And an easy way to tell if it's a plastic bead or amber is there's often a seam on it if it's plastic. So if you see seams on the beads that you're looking at, it's the same color as amber, then that means it's plastic. And of course you try it with a black light at home to know for sure, but that'll kind of tell you as you're out running around looking for things. I buy some pearls, freshwater pearls. You can kind of usually tell. I usually look for that. Or of course, the regular pearls too, with the saltwater pearls would be wonderful, but you typically don't find that at garage sales and things like that. And Christmas jewelry always sells, so I usually pick up the Christmas jewelry. Halloween jewelry is very hard to find, and even if it's new, if it's real reasonably priced, I usually pick that up too. Because I do a vintage market show around Halloween time, and I'll tell you what, I usually sell every piece of seasonal jewelry there. So I usually pick it up for that show in particular. So I got a little pile going on there. Got to make sure to dig around in there. That was interesting. Of course, I have to count it to make sure I got in increments of 6, because I might as well get my one free piece with 5. So this dealer probably was sick of me, because I spent some serious time in here. She's probably like, lady, are you going to be done pretty soon? But that's how you find it. You really got to look, and you got to have the patience to go through these items to find the real good bargains. So often jewelry is very hard to see in these cellophane bags, but you can kind of get the gist of it. So here I am. I moved on to another box, digging through items. There was watches, and here's some more toys. And I buy ball caps too. If they're, I usually don't spend any more than about $1 or $2 for them, because I can only get about $6 to $10 for ball caps. So, but they are quite popular. Oh, here's a nice piece of heritage. That's a depression glass pattern. Or excuse me, that's a pattern from the 40s to 70s. And some more jewelry. And some signs. And usually when you see smiley faces, we're trying to protect people for their privacy. Or there might be something in there that's ad related that we didn't want to put on there. So, ooh, look at all those candlewick candlesticks. Those were nice, but they were a little bit too much money for me. And dinosaurs. This is my friend's booth, and they had a whole table of dinosaurs, and they sold them almost all of them. And let me tell you, that's going to be on my list for toys also, is dinosaurs. Especially the ones like from Jurassic Park. But they have lots of nice jewelry. We both kind of deal in jewelry. And what I like about their jewelry is a lot of it's newer, but they have those pieces that really attract people to your booth. Those really big, ornate pieces that are the wow factor that will bring people over to your booth. You need a few of those to kind of bring them over to look at the other stuff. So I've bought some things from them, and that's what they typically have. You can see all the shine. And here's some nice more depression glass in pink. And some Fenton. There's some silver crust there, and lots of toys. And they're dabbling in toys just like me. So we're kind of are exploring new things. So here's all kinds of smalls, little figurines, some pictures. And some planters and lots of books. There's lots of cool things for kids there if you're looking for kids items. And I always like Dr. Seuss books. And some more jewelry. There was a lot of jewelry at this show. And so it was really fun. And look at those beautiful Bakelite bracelets. Wow. And here's some cars and trucks and some farm equipment. And more trucks. Let's take a look at what we bought. So these are the items that I got at the Monroe County garage sale at the fairgrounds. And this little section here I got at the 4-H booth, and it's a donation, which it's always hard for me to do. I don't want to rip anybody off, but yet you want to get somewhat of a deal. So anyways, I got this thing here, and Mutt's looking at it. He's guarding it, or she's guarding it. And I thought this was neat because it was made in Italy, but it has a big break right here that I did not see, a big crack that somebody glued together. So that's pretty much worthless at this point, maybe a couple bucks, but that's pretty much it. I paid $10 for this little lot here. I got a bunch of these little fuzzy rabbits. It's Easter time, so they'll go good. It'll be a couple bucks a piece, nothing big. I got a little syrup pitcher here. It's not marked. That's probably worth a couple bucks. I got some little boxes, put rings or whatnot in them. And they're newer, but they're worth a couple bucks a piece. So nothing obviously worth a whole heck of a lot here. These here are interesting because they're Christmas decorations, but they're eggs. So those, they look older to me. I think they're worth at least a few dollars. I don't think there's a UPC in the back. No, there's not. So that's usually a sign that they're older. And then I got this little pack of Christmas goodies too, and probably worth a couple bucks. And then these little trees, I wasn't sure on those. I'll have to look them up. I also got this little box here. I don't know. It almost looks like it's from Tennessee. That I can't remember what it's called, but there's a lake like underground. If you remember what that is, put that in the comments. Because we've been there and we actually take a boat around in there. So I think it's from there. Let's see if the bottom says it. No, it just says it's a little music box. So, anyways, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I know it's a lake that's underground. It's pretty cool to go see. But it may be someplace else that I'm not thinking of too. So that's probably worth maybe $4 or $5. This little poodle here, this is probably worth the most, probably between $8 and $10. So I'll get all my money back on that one. And then an old doll and a little duck. The old doll's probably worth a few dollars. I don't get a whole lot for these dolls, even though they're really old. Which is kind of a shame because they're pretty neat. And that one's got her original costume on. So this lot here, oh, and I did get a little bit of jewelry. Nothing spectacular. It's a nice little cat pin. And this bracelet here, but it's really dirty. I don't know if it can be cleaned up or not. And there's a couple other little pieces of pins and stuff like that that are not worth anything. So this little lot here I got for all of this for $10. Now let's take a look at the rest of the stuff. Here's the rest of the stuff that I got at the garage sale at the Monroe County Fairgrounds. I got these little sun catchers, and I looked them up. They're new, but I looked them up and they're worth like 20 bucks. So I don't know. I'll probably put like $7.99 on them. I think that's more realistic. But they're just really pretty, so I picked those up. I don't know if they were something an artist did or if it was something mass produced. But anyway, so that's that. I got this little bench here for $1. That was a no-brainer. I got a little dog here. I think I paid $1 for that one. That's newer also, but dog statues always sell. This was really the good deal here. I got this candlewick set here for $5. And I believe it to be a smoking set. I'm not totally sure, but it's in perfect shape and it has all the trays to go with it. That was a really good buy. That's probably worth 20 to 30 at least, I would think. That was a really good buy. And then I also got these two candlesticks here. And these are Queen Mary. That's another depression glass pattern. And I got these for, let me take a look. These for $2. So those are really nice. Those are worth between 10 and 20 for sure. And then along with the candlewick tray, I got this candlewick little tidbit tray too, and I paid $3 for this. It's probably worth 10. So that was some nice depression glass, an elegant depression glass to find. This little toothpick holder here I paid $2 for. I can't remember the pattern offhand. But anyways, that I can triple my money on. This was kind of cool. I got a Moon and Star salt and pepper shaker for $1. Can you believe that? It's got all the salt and pepper still in it though, which is kind of a bit of a bummer. So I'll have to clean these up. But boy, in blue for $1, what a deal. I'm not sure what that's worth, but I will definitely be looking that one up. I also got this little nut chopper, and I paid $2 for that. It's probably worth 8 to 10. This green piece of glass, or not green, blue piece of glass where I got, I almost want to say it's Fenton, but I don't know. I think I paid $3 for it. It's worth 10 for sure, just for the color. So that was a good deal. I got this little bird for $1 and the purse for $1. And then here's an old celluloid mirror for 75 cents. It's not in the best shape, but it is really old. It was like 75 cents, so I had to buy that. These two turkeys here I believe I paid $1 for those. Those are newer, but anything seasonal like that always sells real well. And this crock here, I am not sure on this. I paid $1 for it, so I'm gonna have to look that up. That could be something really good, but that was a really good buy. This little dog planter here was $3. Very cute. Probably worth $7 or $8. And this here is a vase I paid $2 for. If I had to guess, I'd say $7 or $8. And then this here was like a colonial couple. And this I paid, let's see, I had it on the bottom. I think I paid $3 for this. This is just a nice little statue. That's probably worth between $12 and $15. So all in all, it was a good day at the Monroe County Fairgrounds garage sale, buying all types of goodies. So here's a few of the last items I got. I got a bunch of little toys for $6 for $1 that I sell usually in like little bag lots. I put like the action figures together and little cars and stuff together. And then this jewelry here I got for $1 a piece, or $6 for $5. And there's nothing spectacular in here except when I started to look. Here was a little earring bag that was $1. And I am just about positive, I cannot find the marking, that these are gold earrings. And I honestly didn't even know they were in there, so it was a big surprise. They look to me like they're gold, maybe some diamonds, maybe cubic zirconias. I am not sure. They got to be cleaned up. I have to take those to a jeweler, but I am pretty sure that those are gold. So if that's the case, that paid for everything, although I think I'm going to keep them because I really like them. So what a good day. So this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles saying goodbye, and I'll see you again. Bye.